un video pentru acest canal. Azi o să reacționăm la ceva creepy, animated horror flicks prezenți și hai să începem. Înainte de a începe, m-ar ajuta foarte mult un like de la voi și un subscribe și hai să începem. Bă, o să fie creepy, nu știu dacă o să vedeți că am Tani, aproape Tani. Și o să fie pe 21 video Forza. Foarte rău de tot.
I don't usually hold back when it comes to talking about my job, which was working security at the sub-level of a local hospital. You'd be surprised to know how common break-ins were at that place. Which usually ended up being a couple of junkies trying to get high on some of the weird chemicals that were being kept in the labs.
Chiar tipul ăsta.
It started out as a regular graveyard shift at work, but I'll lead in with a curious backstory.
Până acum am înțeles că era un tip. Era un ospital. Parcă nu știu chiar. Era un ospital sau un loc de științe care făceau de-astea horror, știi?
The doors that led to the morgue. In order to keep the place more sanitized, they had recently installed sliding doors that would automatically open if someone passed in front of them, thus removing the need to touch any handles or doorknobs, and prevent anyone from leaving the doors open by accident. Hygiene played a major role at that morgue, and it had been on the agenda for the past few months. There wasn't anything really unique about the sliding doors, except for the fact that they would sometimes open and close by themselves. That by itself didn't seem like such a big deal, since this could have been caused by something small, such as a moth flying in front of the sensor. Until one night, I realized that it would always happen at the same time. Every night, at exactly 3 a.m., the doors would open for a few seconds and then close. I was convinced that the doors had been programmed with some kind of time-based trigger, but when I contacted the company that installed the doors, they told me that it wasn't possible since the doors were designed only to open when the sensors were triggered or forced open manually. So it continued without any explanation for a long time after that and became sort of a ritual for me and my co-workers to watch the doors open and close on the monitors every night. Usually there would be at least 2 guards on duty, but that night I ended up working the graveyard shift by myself, because the other security guard suddenly became ill and there wasn't enough time to find a temp who could fill in at such short notice. Just to be clear, I had been working as a security guard for a long time, so I was no stranger to danger and I wasn't worried about working alone at night. Besides, the work was pretty straightforward. All I had to do is make sure all the doors were locked and secured and keep a close eye on the monitors. There were only 2 cameras, one overlooking the control room and another one at the other end of the corridor overlooking the entrance to the morgue. As the clock approached 3 a.m., I did what all the guards on duty would do, sit back and enjoy the show. Although the novelty of seeing this phenomenon had long worn off, it was still something I would anticipate would often give me the chills, seeing how it was the entrance to the morgue and you could sense a sudden rush of cold air every time the doors would open, even from the other end of the corridor. I watched patiently as the doors opened, followed by the howling rush of cold air that could be heard from under the door.
Acum vine partea clip. Dacă vă uitați, hai să încercăm la acest videoclip. Da, să zicem 10 like-uri, 20 de like-uri.
It was when I glanced away from the door and looked to the monitors
Ceva
that I
de gen
noticed
20
something
de like-uri.
strange. The doors remained
20 de like-uri direct.
At
Și
first I
fix
thought it
la
might be a
animația
glitch
asta.
with the monitor,
Pe
and
tot
I was
fac
simply
pentru
looking
voi.
at the frozen frame. But then I saw the lights flicker. I waited for a few minutes, but it soon became clear that I would have to head on down to the end of the corridor, since it was strictly prohibited for the doors to the morgue to remain open. As I stepped out into the corridor, I acknowledged a significant drop in temperature, which I knew was going to get considerably worse as I approached the morgue.
E frică deja, bă.
I gradually made my way down the corridor and turned the corner that ultimately led me to the sliding doors.
Hai să mai împăt ecranul.
I had hoped that the doors might have closed by the time I got there, but just as I had seen on the monitor, the doors were in fact still open and the camera was functioning normally. I tried waving my hands in front of the sensor, but to no avail. The doors would not budge. I reluctantly contemplated my next option, which was to test the sensors from the other side, requiring me to enter the morgue. But I decided to take a look around first to see if I could observe anything out of the ordinary.
E creepy rău de tort.
Only when I turned my back to observe the corridor did the doors finally close, which was quickly accompanied by a cold chill in the air.
E frică lui vorul nostru. Dar
I could feel an overwhelming sense of someone standing right behind me.
e frică de vorul nostru de la securitate. Mi-e frică, e singur, ca mine, sunt singur în casă. Back off, mine, Spike! Mamă, Spike în brawl. Bă, vere, băi, îmi țeapă acum Spike. Tipul ăsta vrea să Spike în brawl. Mă, cum ar fi să tipul ăsta.
I closed the door and locked it from the inside, and for a moment I was expecting it to be business as usual as I sat back down in front of the
O să
monitors.
vină un brawler
But after taking a quick
free,
sip of my coffee,
un
I
brawler
realized the
free.
coffee was
Nu
stone
știu
cold.
dacă o să fie real,
Not just
doar
lukewarm as you
știu
would
asta.
expect, but
Nu știu dacă e real
genuinely
chestia
chilled.
asta, dar îmi
I
pare
hadn't
că
been away
mi-aș
from the
dori.
desk for that long,
Ziceți în
so it didn't make
comentarii
much
dacă
sense at all.
sunt activate comentariile.
But then I remembered that I had felt
Dacă
that same
ar
chill
vrea voi
before
să
at the other
existe
end of that
un
corridor.
brawler free. Nu a fost asta.
Out of curiosity, I
Ăla
decided to
care, bă.
rewind the security footage back to when I approached the doors to see if I could spot anything out of the ordinary.
A fost la un
Which is
brawler, a
when I
fost și la
witnessed something that I
skin.
simply couldn't explain. There was a girl standing in front of the doors behind me.
Mamă,
I couldn't really make out her face due to her long black hair. That was a stark contrast to the white gown she was wearing.
mamă,
She
bă,
just
vere.
stood there staring right at me and then walked towards the exit. To this day, I can't
S-a
explain it
speriat, vărule.
because I had just been
Nu
there
te
and I
duci
hadn't seen
acolo.
anyone. It was when I checked the other camera overlooking the entrance to the control room that really sent a chill down my spine. It still gives me
Bă,
nightmares to
verul
this day.
meu. Aoleu, cu publicitatea ta, că vreau să văd. Am revenit. Vărul nostru
When
încă
the
e
lights came
viu.
back on, it was as if nothing
El nu
happened.
mai zice, eu m-aș arunca pe geam.
Opened despite being locked from the
Aoleu,
inside
de
just
ce
moments
nu
before.
mergi să plec din
Due to
cameră?
the mysterious power surge, most of the data on the drives had been completely corrupted. But some of the security footage did survive,
creepy.
and I've been holding on to it ever since. I guess now would be the time to ask yourself, do you believe in ghosts?
Vreau când o să se lanseze Clash
Hey,
Quest.
folks, if you want to
Am
see the
zis că
footage from the
sta,
camera
n-am reușit,
overlooking the
banan,
entrance to
nu
the
mi-am
control
reușit,
room,
nu știu
please
ce s-a
help this
întâmplat.
video reach
Când se
5,000
lanseze,
likes
o
and
să
I'll upload it
fiu
to my
pro
Instagram
player.
account. If you enjoyed this video and would like to see more, please share and subscribe if you haven't already and smash that like button. It helps
Mă rog, dacă v-a plăcut hai să-i dăm și lui băiatul.
tremendously and guarantees more content.
Dacă v-a plăcut acest video, nu uitați să dați acolo un mare like și să vă abonați. Eu am fost vărul vostru Ocatalc sau Victor, cum vreți să ziceți. Eu am fost vărul vostru Ocatalc. V-am salutat. Pa!